Hello, and welcome to my final exam presentation. And I know this isn't like in person, but it's whatever. So if we go to the next slide, um, so the first problem I'm going to be reviewing is on quiz 3, and it's the rational functions quiz. And for the first, it was second problem, and so it asks what are the horizontal asymptotes of these two problems, and how might you know? So for A, the it's f of x equals 3x minus 4 over x minus 2. And to solve for this, all you have to do is divide the leading coefficients, the numerator divided by the denominator. So in this case, it would be 3x divided by x, and you get 3 to be your horizontal asymptote in this situation. For B, you have to take a similar root, but it's a little bit different since there's no leading coefficient in the numerator, and in that case, it's always just going to be at the 0 at the x-axis since there's no leading coefficient in the numerator. So for my reflection in this area of math, I struggled with rational functions a lot, and mostly with just like multiple degrees, and my solution to it was just like double checking and making sure I had everything right, because you have to be very intuitive with this type of math, and I feel like you can just make one little mistake and your whole thing is wrong. And so that's what I learned to do, and I learned to carry that over to future math work. For the problem 2, I chose Honors Week 7 when the question asks find the exact values of the 6 trig functions of 2 pi divided by 3. So for this one, I also struggled with it at the start, specifically the secant, cosecant, and cotangent side of things. And so to find sine, cosine, and tangent, you just look at the unit. Look at the unit circle, and so at 2 pi over 3, you can look at it and see that it's at you see that cosine, or you see that sine is negative root 3 over 2, and that sine is negative 1 over 2. And to solve for tangent, all you have to do is do the equation, which is sine over cosine, and cosine over sine, and tangent equals sine over cosine. And what you have to do is you have to cancel out the 2 in this situation, and then you end up getting root 3 and negative root 3. And to solve for cosecant, all you have to do is switch the numerator and the denominator, because since it's reciprocal, and same thing goes for all the other ones. So I got and you also have to do rationalize the denominator. And so what I did is I got so for my final answer for cosecant, I got 2 root 3 over 3, and for secant, I got negative 2 since it's just negative 1 over 2. And for cotangent, since there's no, it's just root 3, you do the 1 over it, and then you multiply negative root 3 on both sides, and then you end up getting root 3 over 3. So the reflection on, that's it. Okay, so reflection on this one is I struggle with trig and honors in general, and once I started taking more organized notes and like labeling things a lot better, putting down dates, and like making sure I can get back to it easily, I had a lot more success. And I think one of the biggest problems with this is that one of the biggest things I learned was that the unit circle is like a really important thing in trig. Well, it seems obvious, but I feel like I didn't really notice that, and everything comes back to the unit circle. And memorization is also another thing since trig required that with the unit circle, and I never really had to memorize anything since like elementary school, or like maybe like some equations, but it really wasn't anything like that. So for the next slide, for the reflections, for the first question, it says describe something academic that you enjoyed. And I would say something academic that I enjoyed was the Cycle of Life project, just because I I saw a clear connection between the real world, sorry, and math. And I always questioned like how am I going to use math in the future, and like what is it really doing? But like the Cycle of Life project really showed me that it just that it was in the real world, sorry. And another important thing is that another thing that I liked about the project was that it was something that you enjoyed. So like for me, I chose the Ocean Beach, and I got to like, because my family always goes there, and I got to choose that. And I think that that was just like a really cool project. Also to add on, so I'm kind of talking a little bit fast, but to add on, um, I also I also like learned from this project that math is just definitely going to be my future, and that I'm always going to use this in my future. So for the next reflection question, it's describe a challenge that you faced this semester. And I would say that I think this is just a challenge that every student probably faced, and it's just like having good time management skills. And I would say it was specifically in honors, but it was kind of overall, but mostly in honors, just because we had those weekly assignments, and I would wait till the night or the day of, and towards the end of the semester, I ended up just like turning in stuff late, and it just was a really bad habit. And I think that it just, yeah, it really wasn't a good habit. And I think that since it was self-directed, and I think that was a big part of it, and it was all on me. I can't blame anyone for it, but yeah, I think that that was a really big change since like school was mostly self-directed, and I wasn't ready for it. But it was preparing me for college, which is mostly what it's going to be like. So, adding on, I would just say that I would change that in the future. The habit. So, next slide, the last reflection question, it says, describe a goal that you have for the next semester in class. And it kind of connects to the last question, is just to have less stress. And it's just stress-free learning experience for my last year, since it's been kind of a weird high school experience. I want to have a good last year school, but not specifically, just a good last year where I learn, and I also just have fresh like a stress-free experience. So I I want to have like a calendar set up. I want it to be like physical, and I want to like spread out each like day of what work I want to do, and I'm definitely gonna do this because I think it'll help me a lot. But so I'm gonna, yeah, basically that's the gist of it. But yeah, I'm really excited for next year, and I think it's gonna be fun. Thanks for coming to my presentation, or thanks for listening.